Hi everyone, I'm Mike.
And my name's Carl, and this is episode 5 of our Heroes and Classes series for Corepunk. Getting close to the end now, Mike.
5 of 6. Only this one and another one, and then we've completed the known classes at least.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think at the end we should do some sort of we'll get maybe Blackout on and talk about what class we think we'll play now that we've seen them all and we've gone into it,
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see if there'll be... I don't think we'll have overlap. We might have class overlaps, but I don't think we'll have subclass overlaps because,
no.
Getting this far into the series now, I've kind of realised that they do actually all play different. So kind of similar, there's variation.
Similarity. Yeah. Champion today, is it? Champions?
It is champion. It's champion. And champion with a slight... we're going to do things a bit different because we've discovered something whilst we were just digging through the back room, the storage room of the press kits of Corepunk, the locker, and we found an interesting audio file. And there's a few of them, but this one actually is relevant to this episode, and it's the Champion soundtrack music.
And what's the title of it? Is there a title to the track of it? Is it? I think it's Champion Creation, something like that.
Yeah. So the way I envision it is when we're on the character creation screen, when you pick the champion,
this music will kick off.
This music. So I'm going to play it now. Are you ready?
Yeah. Let's have a listen.
We'll just play a few seconds. So you can just kind of imagine that whilst you're on that screen with that sick art.
Yeah.
The champion's got that really cool armor. Do you remember that kind of samurai-esque?
Yeah. It's more synth based than I would have imagined from some of the art style of this game. It's a lot. Yeah, it's definitely more sort of cyberpunk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Across all the music that I've heard so far, except for the theme tune that We Stand as One. Which is like a bit of a jaunty, piratey type vibe in places, isn't it?
But I think that's Corepunk in its entirety, isn't it? It's like there's so many influences. Like they seem to draw it. And like this does, I like it.
It's cool.
It's nice that they've kind of thought. I imagine a bit of thought went into this in kind of like, what do we want this class to portray, not just visually, but the atmosphere. Kind of the atmosphere of this class.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool. It's only like a minute or so long, so obviously it goes onto a loop and stuff. But it's nice that that's, again, we've talked about this in all the episodes. There seems to be a thought process behind each little bit, which obviously then builds up to a big thing. So yeah, so that was the creation champion music, which I thought was really, really cool. And if we do like a review of what classes we are, we could maybe bring up a couple of the others as well. I thought that might actually be quite cool. So we'll certainly do that. But yeah, so now we've gone through that. Should we jump into the actual class and our overview and see what?
Yeah.
Are you able to see it on the screen for yourself?
I can, yeah. I forgot to say as well, we should bring up the creation thing, because you actually get to see the champion's armor, don't you, in the small clip of it? I remember in the creation video. So we'll go through this and then we can
quickly pull it up at the end. That's not a problem. Yeah, so the champion, again, we're going in reverse order. So this is one of the first that was announced out of the 6 that we currently know about. So these guys, noble warriors, champions, seek out battles and live for glory. They unleash their rage upon their foes like an unstoppable hurricane of power, breaking them with ease and knocking the absolute stuffing out of them. I like that phrase.
Yeah, just absolute stuffing. It's very northern, that.
Yeah, right, knock his stuffing out. So the champions bravely rush into battle. I know we can see there's various of ways, launching volleys of arrows, striking enemies with their mighty sword, and rarely ever denting their shield. Their proud spirit, valor, and nerves of steel never let a champion's Never let champions down in a fight, bringing them victory after victory.
Cool, that.
So,
cool little thing. Going into this, I thought this was going to be a tanky class, but the wording of it saying that it rarely denting their shield, I'm doubting that now, because you'd obviously be expecting to take some of the damage on your shield, wouldn't you? But
yeah, it's an interesting thing, that, because what you would expect is your shield to be dinted, because then it means your teammates aren't. But maybe
exactly. That's what
alludes. Yeah, it alludes to the fact that actually they're so proficient in what they do that they don't really need to be taking sustained time. So that we'll see. But we'll go in. So the first one is out of the three is the Destroyer class. And this is the melee two-handed weapons specialization.
Oh, that's cool.
High survival rate, which is pretty cool. They sweep right into the heart of battle, dealing a lot of damage to their enemies. Fighting in a group, they can support their allies in critical moments, restoring team members' health for a certain amount of time. So there's an element of
healing there.
Healing, potentially. So we'll do what we've done for the rest of the things. We'll go into what the special ability is, and then we'll go through the skills. But your initial thoughts? It's interesting.
Cool.
Two-handed
weapons.
Wait
to see, massive hammers, massive swords, maybe an axe. You know what I mean? You've got a lot of wiggle room, haven't you?
Yeah. So their special ability is for each base attack or use of ability, which hits an enemy, so that's quite crucial. The Destroyer gains 1% bonus attack power, buffs up to 10 charges, and when the maximum amount of charges, 10, is reached, the movement speed is increased by 10%. The charge lasts 5 seconds and then refreshes. Activation of the special ability is only available on the 10th charge, and the Destroyer stats to whirl, deal physical damage with their weapon every 0.5 seconds to all nearby enemies during 1.5 seconds. After that, all empower charges fall off. So there's actually a bit to unpack here.
It's. I think I've seen that whirl, and it was named. Yeah, it was in one of the trailers where you see him swing around. He's on a beach. Yeah,
yeah. So it's good that it's another stackable passive, I guess, because you're doing it with every base attack and every ability. You get stronger up to that 10%, but then that 10% allows you to be movement speed 10% quicker.
Yeah.
So, but you don't have to trigger that. The charge lasts 5 seconds, then refreshes. Activation is only available on the 10th charge for the special ability.
So you're sort of building rage, aren't you? It's sort of like a bit of a rage mechanic where you're just taking it and then you bang, let's go. Yeah. I'm going to go spinning.
Yeah. So then the Destroyer starts to whirl, dealing physical damage with a weapon every half second to all nearest enemies during 1.5 seconds. After that, the empowered charges fall off. So yeah, like I say, I think we have seen this in the video gameplays that we have seen. But yeah, so interesting. It's interesting that it's quite passive as well. But it also has a limit in the fact that you have to get the 10th charge to do its ultimate or special ability. So that's a different style of mechanic we've not quite seen just yet. So the Q skill, we'll jump right in. The Destroyer dashes to the target area, deals physical damage with attack power in an area in front of them. All enemies affected by this ability are slowed. So a nice kind of
easy
battle.
One.
Nice charge in.
Yeah.
Good amount of damage. 4-meter range. Obviously, it's quite hard to gauge how far this
the range is until we've seen gameplay sort of thing. So,
I imagine it's a good amount, and the fact that it does it in an arc in front of them, which obviously helps you pick where you go. So that's nice and easy, gets them in. And it does say, doesn't it, at the start that they rush into battle. So this kind of fits that theme. The W skill is the destroyer throws their weapon in a target direction, dealing physical damage, and this is both affected by the attack power and the spell power stat to all enemies in its path. Now, this is a 7-meter thing. Interesting that it's a throw of the weapon as well. So there's an element of range that I guess I didn't expect. As a character,
and it is quite. If the dash is 4 meters and that's 7, so you'd expect that to be quite a big throw.
Yeah, and if it's hitting all enemies in the path, you can get quite a few. I mean, you could do charge and then throw it to the enemies that you're near, or you could throw that before you charge in, because it's got that extra bit of damage. Yeah, a bit of distance.
I can't wait to see that animation. If someone just throwing their massive sword like boom.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's a two-handed weapon. It's a big weapon.
I'm not seeing that.
Yeah.
It's going to be like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Added sound effect there.
Yeah, added sound effect. That's made it. Absolutely made it. But yeah, so that was an element of range that I was surprised to see in this subclass. But the fact that it's in there is really good. Then we've got E. So this is where that kind of, it mentioned about if you're in a group, it helps your team, your allies. So the destroyer shouts and gets buffed for 10 seconds, which increases their health, attack power. Enemies within a short distance from the destroyer get reduced armor and magic resistance. So it's kind of like I don't know, like a hype. You mentioned about range. It's that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the theme that I'm feeling at the moment. There's a bit without saying it, there is a bit of a rage sort of mechanic. Like, I'm gonna throw my weapon and I'm gonna dash in and I'm just gonna get things done.
That's it. They're called the Destroyer. They are going to destroy things. Like
that's it.
You don't calmly destroy things.
Yeah, but that is very true. I've never destroyed something whilst being in
just like really, just kind of like there we go, done. Nice. But it's good. It's good that this has both a buff and a debuff, in one. So you're stronger, they're weaker. You're gaining that advantage for the 10 seconds that you're buffed, which I think is really cool. So if you could either do that at the start to get a lasting advantage, or if you're getting them down to like that kind of half health or more, you're then really kind of pinning them down and going, right, this is used to say good night, thank you very much, good night, sleep, but not calmly, angry
3 meters,
sleep.
Sleep.
Stay down.
Range of only 3 meters though, so I take it you'd be wanting to dash in and then blast it off as you let the crowd. You know what I mean? They're on top of you.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, that jump in, and because that's 3 meters around you as well. So you want to be in the midst.
Exactly. You want them on top of you. You want them.
Yeah, and then you start when it's a 2 or 3 on 1. You start swinging around, which we'll see in the next skill. And then that's it. Cyclone, let's go. Right, so the R skill is the destroyer jumps to a target words today are difficult. Target location and deals physical damage in the place of landing. All enemies in the affected area are stunned.
Yeah.
So
you've got two.
Go on.
2 abilities there that can get you into battle quickly, haven't you? You've got that jump.
Yep.
And then you've got the dash.
Yeah. So the jump is quite interesting, adding the stun mechanic, which again, if you time it right, if you stun them and you use your blood-curdling shout, which is what I'm going to name E now. That's what I've called it, and that's how they're going to implement it. If they're stunned for a second, and you're 10 seconds of being stronger than them, you're pushing that, ever in your favor for even longer. And like I say, if we get up to the 10 charges, they just start whirling and dealing damage every half seconds. for 1.5 seconds, and you just got to, if you're stunned for a second and you're whirling for 1.5, you just got to accept that you fate at that point. Which I think is, so it lives up to its name, Destroyer, I think. Like I say, I love the little thing of like, it's not completely melee. There is the option of throwing your huge weapon at someone, which I think is quite nice. But I like the idea of closing in, getting in the midst of battle, and just
going for it.
Yeah. Madman. Nearest thing I can akin it to is a berserker, but it feels very different.
Yeah.
So they want to be in there, but I feel they both handle the battle very differently.
Yeah.
So that's pretty exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
Next one, let's go.
Next one, I think this is. We'll just scroll that there. I think.
Yeah, we've seen this before, and I'm excited to hear about this class because we've been playing Tribes of Midgard, and I've been loving the bow in that. Absolutely loving the bow in that. So. Yeah, let's see what this has.
So this already has some interesting bits in its little descriptive at the top. So it's a bow and arrow, if we've established, toggling between 2 stances. They can choose to deal damage either to a target area or severely struck to a particular target. Being part of a group, rangers can be the main source of dealing damage, but can also use crowd control to root and slow the enemies. So already we're seeing... You've got ranged. Well, obviously we know it's ranged damage. They're called the Ranger, Mike. But there is group damage, or you can focus on that one person.
Yeah,
and that's
I can imagine this
the
like
2 stances.
Yeah, you're either going for that one person, or you're chucking a load of arrows in the air, and they're just coming down and hitting who's about.
That's it. Yeah. So their special ability is down here. So the ranger's base attacks leaves arrows in enemies. The ranger gains a bonus attack speed for each arrow. The effect stacks up to 10 times. The special ability can be activated, which triggers an immediate explosion of all the arrows stuck in enemies, dealing physical damage.
So cool. So cool. It reminds me of like Hawkeye from Avengers or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? He's just popping his arrow, bang, bang, and then...
Yeah. Oh,
quality.
Good. And it's also quite good as I thought this last bit. Whilst the ability is on cooldown, the ranger's base attack don't leave arrows in the enemies. So you don't need to worry about the cooldown. If you're not seeing arrows getting stuck in, you know you're on cooldown.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start seeing them in, you're not having to look for a little timer anywhere or anything. There's a visual representation, which I thought was like a cool little thing.
It's also it's also cool that you could be like, I'm gonna stick my arrows in these, I'm gonna blow them, and whilst I'm not sticking my arrows in, I'm gonna focus target, knock them in, and then go back to them, arrows in them again, hit them back to that target. You can use it as a crowd control mechanic.
Nice little cycle there. Yeah. So I thought that was really cool. And who doesn't like the idea of sticking arrows in people and then blowing them up? Come on, let's go. So their Q skill, so their first one, the ranger fires an arrow with a net in a target direction. This deals physical damage to the first enemy it hits in its path, rooting them. So it's like that kind of ball-ass, with the metal balls and chains them up. So like you were saying, that crowd control, the first skill is right there. 10-meter range, so...
Yeah, that's which you'd expect if you're chucking arrows about.
Exactly. Those are good amount of damage as well.
Yeah, big damage that. Bigger than you'd expect.
Yeah, especially considering this is rooting them. So the thing to notice, the difference between stunning and rooting is that if they're also ranged, they can still move. They just can't, as in move their weapons and stuff. So this will be good to single out melee attackers, because obviously if you root another ranger, you still got your bow and arrow. So that's quite cool. Nice little 15-second cooldown. W attack, this is what you've slightly alluded to before as well, is the ranger chooses target area, which for the next 2 seconds is attacked with a hail of arrows dealing physical damage. once in a second. All enemies in this area are slowed. All allies in this area gain bonus movement speed.
Oh, that's cool.
So there is a buff there, as well as doing a bit of damage to things.
Yeah.
But yeah, that classic up into the sky and
yeah. It seems that 10 meters is the maximum range as well at the moment, doesn't it? Like that's what
I don't think we've seen anything.
We'll see further.
The only thing we have seen that's further is the sniper, because it was unlimited range for one of its things, wasn't it? But that's I think it makes sense that kind of the realm of 10 meters seems to make sense. Yeah. But my head, and this isn't how it works, and this is just how Mike works. Okay, so just strap in for a second.
Go on, everybody,
I'm with you. Calm down. So the arrows are going up into the sky,
right,
and they're hitting their enemies. Ow, ow. Now, the reason why there's bonus movement speed is because your friends are trying to dodge them. That is how I read that.
Oh, the lore to it, right? I like it.
Because an arrow's still going to hit your friends. They haven't got a magical bubble, have they? But they're a bit like, oh no, Carl's point. You're just a bit more zippy on your toes.
There we go.
That's how I read it.
I'm with you.
My brain works in such weird ways, but I'm here for it.
It's great.
So, I just imagine them just seeing these arrows coming down, going, oh, Carl's done it again.
Oh, get out of the way, quick.
So and the next one, the E skill, is the stance thing, which we saw at the top of the.
Yeah, so you get to switch.
So the first stance is the ranger's base attack reduces the armor of the target. It stacks up to 5 times. When switching to this stance, the next base attack will reduce the target's armor by 15. So as you come from the other stance into this, big armor reduction, and then each one then continues. So that's pretty cool. Like that's to me that seems like that's singling out. When we're talking difference between, so you're aiming for that person, you're getting their armor down, you're going to do more damage.
You can see it's sort of there in the picture as well, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's
that's a very good point actually. Yeah, there's 1 and then there's 3. I just thought it was different colour, but I'm not very observant in there. And then the second one, so the base attacks deal less damage in the second stance, but will slow enemies. When switching to this stance, base attacks will additionally deal damage to the 2 nearest targets with on-hit effects for 6 seconds. So so that's the 3 arrows there, isn't it?
So that's a more targeted version of the last one we just looked at, isn't it? That's what I'm thinking. Instead of you firing it in the air, you're doing the slow movement, but it's more targeted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're more direct.
Yeah, and there's a good, the fact that it does slow the enemies, and if you are hitting up to 3 people, that's crowd control in itself, because you are controlling the battle. And it's nice that it does on-hit effects as well for 6 seconds, so if you're going to cast a skill that does things, then so that's cool. I like that. There's only a 3-second cooldown as well. That's a good thing to point out. There's not a long.
You'll be putting these out loads.
It. You can just be like, right, like you say, get all those arrows in them. Yeah. Pull the trigger, cooldown, swap stance, swap stance.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I think you can chain that up pretty well. And then the R skill, which already the picture looks amazing.
So cool. Do you reckon you'll jump in the air like that? Do you reckon you'll jump backwards like that?
Just read it. A ranger fires a volley of arrows in front of them, dealing physical damage to all enemies affected by the ability. The ranger leaps 4 meters back. So it is
sick.
Jump back.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's sick.
Oh, are you kidding me? A volley of arrows.
I can't wait to see this. Okay, this one just sounds like it's going to look so cool on the battlefield. You know what I mean? Just the actions that they're going to be doing, and
just that jump back. Yeah, because I wish you could see in my mind's eye how cool I think this is going to look. But I think the image does a good, it's like pulling up and just going bam bam bam. Like
only 5 meters though with the arrows.
Yeah,
the range of the actual.
That's fair enough, but
it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's a volley in front of them, so it's to me, it's almost like a kind of, if you start getting crowded, it's a good, like, here's a load of damage, you deal with that. I'm jumping out, and then you could get your destroyer to jump in and be like.
It looks like at the cost of the range, you get a bit more damage as well.
Oh yeah, well, there's a 305 there, which looking at the history of the other ones, like anything plus 300, is pretty high. So amazing, exactly what I'd expect from a ranger class. I love the idea of arrows sticking in and that being a passive kind of extra thing. I think they'll implement that really well.
I do think that this is the class I'm going to play now.
Yeah,
definitely. After coming off the back of tribes and using the bowls on there and stuff, I've just been well enjoying it.
Yeah.
So I do think this is definitely. I think this will be my first class that I go for.
Nice.
First character.
And I think it's got a lot in its arsenal, like the stance switches, like say those arrows going in and blowing up, and just being able to crowd control, or if everything's under control, you can focus on an enemy and you can be picking them down. So that's really cool. And then finally, the last of the three is the defender. So this is the sword and shield variant of the champion. Tanks who use their sword and shield in melee fight, they can withstand a lot of incoming damage, help reduce damage to their allies. While in a group, defenders taunt enemies to make sure they're the ones taking the most damage and attacks. So this is the
class I thought I'd be seeing more of.
Yeah. So we can see here its special ability. The defender gains bonus armor and magic resistance for every enemy within 3 meters range. So again, this is another, you want to be in the midst of it because you're getting more armor and magic resistance. That's another thing, because we've seen a lot of armor buffs. We've not seen too many magic resistant buffs, which is quite good. So that's both, which obviously means spells are going to deflect and do less damage. So again, another passive one. So you don't have to worry about it. You just kind of need to have it just there and go, I want to be here in the battle. Which is really cool. So the Q attack empowers their next basic attack. The empowering basic attack during 7 seconds permits them to hit a target with a powerful strike dealing physical damage. After this empowered strike, the defender buffs themselves and reduces incoming damage by 3%. This lasts for 10 seconds and stacks up to 5 times, and it refreshes its effect period with each stack. So, again, a little bit to unpack here. So, you can press Q, and you've got to do your first attack within 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Which is, in a fight scenario, is a long time. It doesn't sound a lot, but that's right. Are we ready? Right, my Q's on. Is everyone? Here we go. 3. Like there's time to kind of not.
Get in there.
Yeah. And it does an empowered strike. So it does more damage. So it's already doing more damage, but then immediately you take less damage by 3%, which is a lot.
Yeah.
Percentages in games are always like they don't sound a lot, 3%, but 3% of 1,000, like you're talking big negation of damage. And the fact that it lasts for 10 seconds, but if you do it again, it refreshes that time period. So if you're active and you're constantly getting the Q and doing it in the right order, you will have that up just indefinitely through the fight, which I really like that. And like I said, we're not seeing huge numbers here, but that's an empowered attack on top of its base attack. So very good. Low mana cost.
Coming out of the gate strong.
Yeah, coming out of the gate strong. W, the defender throws their shield. It says in a target.
In a target. Just boom, stuck in the chest.
I just love that idea. It's like, oh,
Class.
well, that hurts. If the shield
Captain
hits a
America.
target, yeah, that's what I was feeling. If the shield hits a target, it bounces to the enemies several times, dealing physical damage.
Captain America.
First target hit is stunned. So yeah, Captain. Yeah, it is, and
That's
several.
Got to be a costuming game, hasn't it?
Several times is an interesting phrase because that can be anything up to 7. That's what several means. Now, it'll be interesting to see if it is a random. So it might hit 2, but then it also might hit 5. That would be quite cool. I don't know how they'll do that. And obviously, again, this could all change. But again, we're seeing damage numbers in the 200s at the top end there, which not too shabby. If that hits you 2-3 times, suddenly you know, and you're getting hit by a shield, which I feel in terms of being in a battle, getting hit by stabbed by a sword, hit with an arrow, like slashed with an axe, like they're all like, ow, that hurts. But the idea of that you've got this inanimate shape and someone just hitting you with it, just kind of going, yeah, and you're just like,
they're just chucking it full force into your chest,
and they're just stood there going, what? You've just been hit by a square thing. Who's the real loser here? Come on.
I wonder what made him decide the cast time was 0.2 seconds instead of just going instant. You know what I mean?
I guess it's kind of getting a bit of
just the throw.
just
like
that,
boom,
rather than like it going a bit. That's
cool.
Yeah, but yeah, I like that. I'd like to see what several ends up being, and whether it is random every time. Because I just like the idea of. I do like the idea of having a bit of randomness at times. But not in every case.
Keeps it fresh.
Yeah, and when you do see it hit 6 times, you're gonna feel ace.
You'll be screaming.
Let's go. So that's that one, and then we've got the E skill, which is the defender jumps to a target location, dealing physical damage upon landing, and taunts all enemies to attack them for 2 seconds. This is brilliant.
Yeah,
because we've already established
all the attention.
Yeah, we've already established that being in amongst it gives you more armor and magic resistance. The idea that everything within that, in that range, that radius that you land in, has to attack you. Doesn't matter what they do, they have to attack you. So already, if you've got if you're a ranger, you don't need to worry for 2 seconds once you see your guy run in with that, because you know you're kind of not the focus of an attack. So you can fling off your volley of arrows, and they have to just accept their fate. And also, again, all the like skill art, I don't know what you want to call it, ability art. They're all very like he's literally stood on that guy's head. He's jumped on. He's got the sword.
Doesn't look pleasant.
No, I wouldn't like to be the victim of him. Yeah, but 2 seconds, a long time to not be able to hit the thing you want to hit.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Nice. Next, the R skill. So raises the shield, and for a short duration, reflects all incoming damage back to an enemy. The defender is still able to move whilst reflecting the damage, preserving the type of reflected damage. The defender becomes immune to crowd control and damage. They also create an area behind their backs in which allies take reduced incoming damage. I love this skill. I absolutely love this.
It's going to be so effective when you're in a big boss battle, and like the big attacks coming in, you just boom, take that back.
If anything has got a remote cast time, because we can note here one thing, because this sounds just so powerful. There is a longer cast time for this.
Yeah.
Now, I think this. I feel like because it usually they expect it to go 5 to 2, but I think what this means is how long they're holding the shield up. Because it wouldn't make sense Yeah, it wouldn't make sense that you're higher level and it takes longer to bring your shield.
Oh right, yeah, of course.
So
Yeah.
I think that's how I'm interpreting.
It will be. Yeah.
But the idea that if you know someone's going to cast their ultimate or is about to ping all those arrows that are in your body, if you time that right and it goes back to the source of the damage.
Yeah, it's so cool, isn't it?
And the fact that then
you'll feel like an absolute boss.
Yeah, just like absolute stalwart hero. Just like, and the fact that people take less damage if they are behind you, it does reinforce that. Get behind me, like just shield up. Bang, bang, like arrows flinging off, swords pinging away. Oh,
class.
Yeah. So this
so good.
Actually is a class that I didn't think I was gonna play, but just purely on this subclass is a very strong contender, because I do like the idea of just being like getting in there, making them do less damage. I just love the idea of like he's just not dying.
Yeah,
you know, like that kind of thing of like
he's he's not going down.
He's got so much health, he's got so much armor, and like I like that. I like the idea of just going, yeah, come on. And then you're the one at the back just going, yeah, I'll take them out. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Yeah, that feeling when you put out your ultimate and you see that shield come out and you just know it's about to come back on you and you're just like, no!
Yeah, especially if you've just pressed R for wwhatever your ability is, like that Pain Reaper prison, and then suddenly you end up in a prison yourself, you're like, that's a bit awkward, isn't it? You know, I'd love to see some of that. So yeah, definitely cool. Happy with that. So they're the three classes. The champion.
Seems like we're going to be playing champion. Yeah, bring up the thing if you can. Yeah. Whilst you're doing that, I guess I can say what we're going to be doing next. So yeah, we've got the last one, which is Paladin. And then we're going to also be recording. We're going to be putting out our It's a Podcast this week. I guess it'll be going up after you watch this video. Did we say? Is that what we said? I think so.
Yeah, it will be after.
Yeah, it'll be after this video, so that will be up. So yeah, if you have enjoyed watching us on here, come across to there, watch us just talk, and we're just going to chill out. It's going to be a bit more relaxed and a lot less sort of, I don't know, regimented as this is.
Yeah,
if you haven't seen us on, we're just going to hang out and talk. And if you haven't seen us on Twitch yet, come over to Twitch. We're streaming quite a bit at the moment. And if you have been coming over there, thank you for coming over there. We've met some great people. Blackout, Velnadar, who are the other ones? Purple Meth, crazy name, but we're into it. Why not?
We're living it. Yeah,
Phoebes, Ellie Belly.
You've been there.
Thank you.
You were there. Thanks.
I've been there. You were there.
Was I? I was there in spirit and physically.
I remember seeing you.
Yeah. So
cheers for everything so far. Now let's
have a look at this. I'll bring this back up for the viewers. So this is the sword and shield class that we're seeing right here. This is this is it, because I just played it forward, and it goes straight to the destroyer class, which is no, that would be legionnaire. No, apologies. No, you are. I'm wrong.
Yeah,
but so this is the destroyer. So you can see his big, like he's going to throw that sword. Can we we've established this now?
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
That sword is getting thrown at someone.
Yeah. And again, look, the blue energy stuff. If you haven't seen our reaction to this customization video, please go check it out, because we do touch on this, but we think that this energy that we've been mentioning through all of these customization and hit classic videos is being harvested by that machine in the back that you can see is there.
Either harvested or that is just a fuel source.
It's a fuel.
Yeah, but I do watch that video, because we've looked at every little nook and cranny of this video, and we had a right good time with it. So that's the destroyer. I think I'm
There
gonna have
is
to do
the
a bit of
Ranger is there, isn't there? Because
just
I go off. Look at that.
I want to get that
That is
entrance.
so cool.
Where's the entrance at? Because here we go. Because I remember our reaction to this when it came down.
Wild. Look at that. That's so cool.
So yeah, so now we can see a bit, like, now we know how the class operates, like with the explosive things going in and stuff. But yeah, it just looks. This class as a whole has a very kind of samurai, Eastern, like
ancient.
Yeah, that kind of.
Like. And you know, I was looking there when he was spinning the character around. If you just pull it back a tiny bit, sorry. But how the arrows are sort of aren't just a backpack, you know, they're their own thing. They're moving themselves, you know what I mean? Yeah. And it's just like each arrow's sort of individual there, and it's like waving around as he swings it around. It's you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're in the quiver, aren't they? And like but yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for this game. Hopefully, we're going to hear some more news if the rumors are true. Come on the 20th.
I think
we're recording this on the 18th today, so that'll be. So hopefully we'll have that news out before you actually see this video, I guess, because this is going to go up after that.
If all goes to plan, yeah, this will be in the future, but from the past.
Yeah, and if you haven't seen our reaction to that future video that hasn't dropped yet, go and watch it because we've definitely done something, and it's ace.
Yes. I was trying to follow your train of thought, and it adds up. I was like, yeah, and then the thing.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it drops, we've definitely done a video. So
it was brilliant. Did you see?
Go and have a look.
I can't believe
the thing you said about that thing. Oh my god, that thing.
Oh, and the Corepunk. We saw him.
Yeah, it was the Corepunk. Yeah,
not the.
Yeah, who they'd be like that? You know what I mean? I didn't. No idea.
That's wild. I'm in awe. But yeah. So
right,
that was.
Let's
wrap this up. We're getting silly now. Come on, calm down. It's just I'm so excited. I just can't.
Yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah, so that was the champion class. 3 very just followed suit, and that's what I love about this is very different within. So the idea that you can level all 3 on one character. I mean, they've talked. If you go back to our very early videos, they talk about it will take a while, but the idea that you can have your destroyer, ranger, and defender all within one character eventually is just wild, and they look
awesome.
Sick.
Awesome.
But yeah.
So yeah, thank you again for watching. Please continue to keep watching, and we'll catch you next time.
We'll do.
Bye-bye.
Bye.